So recently, an article came out after a student intern was caught taking classified information away from the GCHQ. And he was charged, and they found out he also had some child pornography. But an article came out discussing it in the weirdest manner possible. As I say, it's titled Students Given Top Secret Access in Spy Chiefs Internship Schemes. Placements at MI6, MI5, and GCHQ promise participants chance to make key contributions to real projects. This was released 1st of April 2025. So, spy agencies are giving interns access to top secret information. Candidates are told they can gain unique access to our operations, gain experience, and make key contributions to real projects during placements at MI6, MI5, and GCHQ. The revelation comes after it emerged Hassan Ashad, 25, stole top secret data while on an internship at GCHQ. So, already it's a bit weird. We've been ignoring what the main point of the title should be. A student stole this information, which has put a lot of resources wasted, as well as risked so many agents. Apparently 17 agents' data was took. Anyway, so unprecedented exposure. Potential applicants are told no matter which organisation you choose, you're not just there as shadow. From day one, you'll be welcomed in and treated like members of our organisation with real work to do. With unprecedented exposure to the way we work, as well as our social societies, mentors, and affinity groups, you'll get a realistic view of life at UK intelligence servers. Which, I mean, I do agree with that. When you want to be an internship, you want to have on the ground actual work and actual experience, understand what it's like. However, when it comes to a intelligence organization, which is highly critical, especially with all the stuff that goes on nowadays with cybercrime, cyber warfare, and terrorism, it's a bit dangerous. Anyway, the GCHQ website says the summer intelligence internship allows applicants to immerse yourself in the work of one of our intelligence mission teams. It adds, this isn't just work shadowing with access to genuine case studies and briefings by various operational intelligence teams. You'll be treated like a member of our organisation and expected to get involved with real projects, which, yes, you do want in any internship. However, this paragraph is the one that worries me. If you're in your final or penultimate year of university and from a black, Asian, mixed heritage or ethnic minority background, and from a socially or economically disadvantaged background, this is your opportunity to discover if a career in intelligence is right for you. We'll even cover your accommodation. All you need to do is bring your fresh perspective. So, in the UK, which I found out, in the UK students, majority of students are white, 72%, which we are a majority white country, so it makes sense that it's majority white students. But they're being discriminated against. This is looking for black, Asian, mixed heritage or ethnic minority students, and they also have to be from a socio-economically disadvantaged background. Why would you not want to accept everyone? This is for British intelligence. We need the best, but we're discriminated against nearly 3/4 of all the country, of all students, based on the colour of their skin, their race, where they're from, and their economic background. That should be irrelevant. We should be accepting who is the exact best for this job. This is for the security of our country. As I say again, it goes back on to Hassan Arshad, pleaded guilty to a charge under the Computer Misuse Act 1990 and will be sentenced later this year. He was sentenced to 6 years for the breach of the Computer Misuse Act and a year and a half for his child pornography material. So while MI5 and MI6 only offer the summer intelligence internship, GCHQ offers a wider variety of schemes. In one for maths, in cryptography, applicants are told they will work alongside experts on problems that have genuine practical importance, while its summer language talent program says applicants will draft intelligence reports, translate foreign language material, and deliver briefs. So, abuse of trust. Yet again, we're back onto the Arshad incident, which, yet again, the way this article is laid out, it's split in between like two different points, one promoting the internship scheme, then another discussing the breach of this internship scheme, abuse of trust. Arshad from Rochdale, Greater Manchester, took his work mobile phone into a secret location within the intelligence agency and connected it to a workstation before taking it home and transferring the sensitive data to a hard drive linked to his personal computer. It is understood that Arshad was not on the Some Intelligence internship, which is also a diversity scheme offered by GCHQ, MI5 and MI6. The Telegraph understands all internships offered by all three intelligence agencies are subject to the same vetting standards and that MI5 is not looking to review their vetting processes based on Arshad's case. Okay. So he wasn't on the scheme. So why are we talking about the scheme? This seems very like covering up the actual issue by talking about some scheme and then dropping in that this person committed a crime. It's really weird and very, very suspicious. The tele- okay. However, one Whitehall source said there has been an element of trust when recruiting for the schemes. Arshad, who pleaded guilty to a charge under Section 3ZA of the Computer Misuse Act 1990, will be sentenced later this year. Once an internship finishes, candidates have the opportunity to apply for permanent roles within their chosen organisation should they wish. Top secret is the classification for the government's more sensitive information. When compromised, might cause widespread loss of life or threaten the security or economic well-being of the country or friendly nations, according to Ministry of Justice security guidance. So, as I say, this article is titled that it's to do with top secret access and spy internship schemes. And then it's also talking about an individual, a 25-year-old, who broke the law, who broke the agreement he made and took sensitive data home that was greatly causing risk for those involved in that information. As I said, it was 17 agents, and apparently thousands of hours were wasted. So, and apparently he was also not a member of this scheme. This article's all over the place, seems very discriminatory. As I say, it says this is only offered to not white students. Oh, which is so it's against class, which and against race. Yes, of course, the people of like more disadvantaged backgrounds should be offered these opportunities, but why should we discriminate against people who may be better suited? But we discriminate on them based on their intelligence, not their intelligence, their race, sorry, and their background. That makes no sense when it's for something so important. We need the best of the best, but we're discriminating nearly three-quarters of the country from that opportunity, if not more, because many of the black, Asian, mixed heritage, or ethnic minorities may also be of a better socio-economic background, so therefore they're also not applicable. So a minute amount of people in the country have access to this and are not able to use or benefit from it. And then it's loaded in with this article of this person who is broke this trust and took sensitive data home. In another article, it states that this individual was like 25-year-old and was a student who broke this. So what's going on? Why is it littered here? And it's also not talking about his full crimes he committed. So if we look at the BBC article, GCHQ intern who took secret data home jailed. He admitted removing data without authorization out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. So this is an individual who does not care, about what he's doing, which someone worth for British intelligence should be someone who gives a shit, someone who wants to protect the country, wants to help, wants to keep people safe. As I said, yep, there you go, exposing 17 colleagues and threw away thousands of hours of work when he took top secret data home. And this has caused massive, massive costs to the country. He was a student. So as I said, they said he wasn't a student in that article, but this article is saying that he was currently a student. So if he was a student, was he on the internship scheme? If he wasn't, then well, how was he a student as well as working here? Doesn't really make much sense. And as I say, part of the hearing was, obviously held out, behind closed doors. Obviously, we're trying to hide this fact and information, which obviously makes sense because of the data involved. It has to be protected. And we're discriminating against the majority of the country. This is disgusting and needs to not be repeated. This needs to be resolved. This is horrible. This is horrible. Oh, and he found 40 graphic files of child pornography, described as Category A, on his personal mobile phone. So he uses mobile phones. He uses work one to take the information home. He uses personal one for these awful, awful files. He was coming to the end of a year of placement with the team that worked in the development of tools and techniques to obtain information about threats to the UK. So he wasn't on an internship scheme, he was on a placement. That seems very, yet again, very suspicious, and it seems like it's almost covering up what happened. They're almost the embarrassment of what they did. Obviously, this article was published recently, so maybe that's why, but it seems very suspicious. I said this was posted today, whereas the other one was posted 2 months ago. But they didn't admit that he was a student. They didn't talk about how the fact he was on a placement. They just mentioned that he was someone who wasn't on an internship scheme, which, it sounds like very much that it was covering up that what happened. And this yet again, we need to be very more careful with hiring, but the ways they're hiring, they're based on race and socioeconomic background. This is a disgrace and a sure sign of discrimination at the most important systems and companies within the UK, and this needs to be resolved. Oh, he's been diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum and being neurodivergent. That is no excuse for his paedophilia and his exposing British secrets. And honestly, it's kind of disgusting to mention that because they're trying to use autism as if that's some sort of defense. People who are autistic do not commit crimes because they're autistic, especially when it comes to paedophilia and leaking, stealing British secrets. This is a disgrace. And hopefully this is resolved. And hopefully Hassan Arshad gets a longer punishment, but with 7 years and the 40% time served, he may do under 3 years, which is disgusting for what he's done. Britain needs to do better.